apparently in like the 50s, Nikita Khrushchev said, you know, if they hadn't sent us all this spam, they might not have been able to feed their troops during World War II. So a little weird canned kind of ham pork product, canned meat, may have won World War II. And the Fed is trending on X. I wasn't sure why, and I'm still not 100% sure why, although part of it is because of this building that they're renovating. They're supposed to be renovating one of the buildings at the Fed, right? And the other day, Donald Trump came out there with Jerome Powell, and they're talking about how the renovation of the building was kind of a little bit over budget, okay? First of all, listen, the numbers on this are crazy. They wanted $2.something billion to renovate a building at the Fed. $2.1 billion. Well, this is $2.5 billion, but they're over budget by over $1 billion for one building. They're over budget over $1 billion for one building. $1 billion friggin' dollars for one building. This isn't even for building a new building. It's for renovating a building. What the actual F are they doing? If after a night of filling your rectum with vodka from a turkey baster, the cops find you changing a flat in the cereal aisle of a Piggly Wiggly and ask how much you've had to drink, and you say, nothing, are you lying? Well, no. Now, if they had been asking, have you been injecting? You'd have to say yes, but they said, have you been drinking? Well, no, absolutely. Yeah, Lord Stanhope, absolutely not. In fact, you all can try to answer these questions. Stand by. The program will begin soon. A WNBA game got stopped in the middle of the game because one of the players lost their wig while they're playing, and they had to run off. And then some fan made fun of the player, and they had to run. And they kicked the fan out for making fun of a player losing the weave. Not the weave, it was a wig. Losing their wig. They had to have a timeout for the wig, a wig emergency. Which I'm like, why the F are you wearing a wig while you're playing basketball? But then yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, a game had to be stopped briefly because someone threw a big old green dildo on the floor. Someone threw a dildo out on the floor, out of the court. They had to stop the game. I don't know if they caught the person who sent the dildo, but the green dildo was on the court, and a good large number of the players had no idea what to do with something of that shape, but that's okay. It happened, and then someone made this t-shirt or this meme, pay us what you owe us, which has a dildo on it. So that was... Hey, you know what the really good interrupt violence through community-based bystander training? Yeah, if the bystanders beat the fuck out of someone who's attacking somebody else, that would be great bystander training. They could send them to the MMA gym, you know, put them in an arm bar, smack them in the face a few times. Stop doing that bullshit. That would be the best community-based bystander training, but I don't think that's what he means. Anyway. And then the other one, they'll go back all the way to Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof's the other one, which, does anyone, okay, let me ask you something. A lot of you are right-leaning or on the right. Is there anybody in this, that you, anyone you know of? Is there anyone that you know of on the right who supports or supported Dylan Roof? Because I know everyone I can think of who's like, Dylan Roof, fuck that guy. He went out and murdered people in a church. Fuck that guy. But the left is like, oh, he was a right-wing extremist. Nah, he's a fucking asshole. Fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck Dylan Roof. Nobody gives a shit about Dylan Roof. Nobody claims him. Nobody wants him. He's an asshole. Okay? He's a little punk bitch asshole who killed a bunch of people in a church. Stand by. The program will begin soon. Reverend Robin Bartlett of First Church of Sterling, Massachusetts, uses John 1:14 in the Bible to justify why she brings her 11-year-old son to drag shows. This is what we're getting in the Rainbow Church. The Rainbow Church aren't exactly hiding. That's true. The Word became flesh and lived among us, and my body, your body, their bodies are home for the living God. That is why I take my 11-year-old boy to drag shows in the summer with my friend and fellow church leaders, Kate, and her 11-year-old boy. Especially if you're a man, bodies can be celebrated and played with. That's her message. What the fuck? California wants to let someone that is not related to your child remove her from school, him or her, enroll her in any other school in the state, authorize any medical treatment, including mental health services and drugs, without the parent's notice and knowledge or consent. Can you see what that might be a problem? This is not fear-mongering. I'm not being hyperbolic. She warned these are unintended consequences, and it is terrifying. They are unconscionable or unavoidable. So that's one of the really bad California law that they're going to do. I can't believe. I just dumbfounded that they're doing. Now this is interesting. That new mayor candidate, the leading Democratic mayor candidate for New York City mayor, Damme, wants cops to stop responding to attacks on Jews. And by the way, Jews in New York City are victims of the majority of hate crimes. Not a plurality, but the majority of hate crimes against people in New York are against Jewish people. Especially religious hate crimes. Anyway, 345 hate crimes in New York City last year, more than all other minority groups combined, according to New York Police Department data. Anti-Jewish crimes accounted for 54% of the 641 total hate crimes reported to police in the city in 2024. Since the beginning of the year, 60% of the 123 recorded hate crimes have targeted Jews, according to the New York Police Department. Well, Zohran Mamdani, the radical Islamist and leftist terror supporter, has proposed that the New York Police Department not respond to hate crimes, instead that they be handled by social workers. Either this shifts resources away from responding to attacks on Jews and moves away from having law enforcement deal with those attacks, and instead has his political leftist allies deal with them by burying them. Every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to, I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only PDawgKnight.
Hey there. Here we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Happy Hump Day. Hump Day! Is my shirt's doing that green screen thing. Well, we'll see if it lasts. Anyway, hi, how you doing? Happy Wednesday. Let me see if I can fix it. Should I fix it? Or should I just do the Casper, the friendly ghost thing? Happy Hump Day. It is Wednesday, the 22nd of October, 2025. I hope I survive this day. Good Lord. Good news. Well, good news. As you know, my mother-in-law has been ill. She had surgery about a month ago, and now she's had another surgery this morning. But the doctor says everything's looking great. That's good news. So, we're staying grounded and hopeful. There we go. Let's turn that up. Turn the brighten. That still doesn't help, does it? It just doesn't help. What the hell? Contrast? Would that fix it? Nope. It sure won't. Okay, well, we're just going to have to be invisible. I got to learn what colors shirts to wear around here. Anyway, yesterday we were mentioning this whole thing with this White House renovation. And I really didn't pay attention too deeply to it until this morning. It's still trending, and people are losing their freaking minds over our renovation of the White House. And so I want to laugh at some people later in the show. But I also want to talk a little bit about the old, am I quiet? Oh, here, I don't know. Does that help? Maybe that helps. I'm assuming you meant quiet and not quite. Anyway, this whole White House renovation thing has people losing their minds. And so I'm going to talk about that. And I also want to talk about the, there's a little more No Kings follow-up, because there's some things that have happened in the last couple of days that you're going, I wonder if that's because of No Kings, because as if we had a king. And we'll look at that. Let's see, hang on a second. Oh no, a U.S. Marshal was shot in Los Angeles. That's not good. I've got some news items too. I'm kind of skirting through the trending topics today because I got some news items that have to be talked about. Oh no. Oh, so I got to talk about the government shutdown too. Where's that? Snap. Oh, there are some developments about that you should know. And it's important for people to know these things. So anyway, if you want to sponsor the show, you can do that at the links in the chat, and that Johnny Boomer Tech puts in the chat. And please share the stream. I'm going to leave that up for a couple of more minutes here, and we'll get going. So let's go ahead and start the show, get things going. I'm kind of worried, though. I'm worried about AD. I haven't seen him for a while. Is he here today? I'm looking through here. I don't see him yet. I hope he's okay. All right, let's get the show started because I'm just dicking around here. Okay, first in the chat today is Kara Soldier. Good morning, Kara Soldier, and you get the bell. Congratulations. Also, good morning to our young friend Midnight, who just went upstairs. I saw that in the chat, so maybe you heard me, maybe you didn't. Also, hello, Miss Wild Wolf. Hello, and Jay Blizza. JB's in the house. Also, you guys were chatting a while before anyone else came in here. Oh, Green Badger Outdoors, my other favorite Canadian unacceptable views. The Pope is here, Pope Tyrannus III, the Blessed Lich, with the daily message of hope. Yes, again, Pope Tyrannus III, the Blessed Lich, and our daily message of hope from the tree of the Triumvirate. Or something like that, the Holy Ghost. Blessed are the most divine. The world is full of complex things, and it is okay to take joy in them, but we must show the same courtesy to simple things. take joy in both. Yes, we should. The divine and the simple things. Look, if you follow my other account, my Instagram account, or even YouTube, Marty's Big Journey, where I post lovely things, you will see things like, let's see, let me show you something. Oh, by the way, I have my latest video up here. We went to this art park. I'm going to show it to you now. I'm going to show it to you because it's actually kind of cool. So, and I'll put a link to the Marty's Big Journey because I'm posting a lot there now. Just because we did my mother-in-law's trip to Chicago, and I've been just posting pretty things. And this was this was one of the things we saw at this art park we went to up near where my daughter lives, in Schaefer, Minnesota. And I thought this is actually kind of cool. That thing, and someone mentioned to me that it looks like the camouflage on the ships from World War I. And in fact, that's what this thing was inspired by. It's this giant sculpture that they have out there at this art park. So anyway, but it's one of these things. As I'm looking at this video and as I was making this video, I was noticing how beautiful the sky was. Beautiful blue sky and the clouds and the grass. And it was just, and as I walked, and I remember we were walking around this art park and I was noticing too, even, all the fall colors are starting to kick in. And as a reminder from what Tyra said in the Daily Message of Hope, we must show the same courtesy to simple things. There's, if you just go outside and look around, you're going to find something that is beautiful. Another example of this is when I was at my daughter's house. She has some flowers that are just, kind of marigolds or whatever these are. And but they're starting to, you start to die back because it is fall. But these blooms are like the last ones hanging on. And I was realizing as I looked at them closely, because I had to look at them closely, just realizing how actually beautiful something as simple as a flower on a dying vine can be. And so, and I said, among the fading fall blooms, an army of color warriors marches on. And so just taking pleasure in simple stuff can really do wonders for you if you just take the time to find them. So anyway, also follow me on Marty's Big Journey, either on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok. I'm on TikTok too now. I have all three things. So anyway, so much for that. Did I say hi to everybody yet? Oh no, I'm just got to Tyre. That's right. Also, good morning to Bookworm Addict. How you doing? Who else? Let's see. Oh, there we go. There's some more people. Attack Alpaca. Good morning. Shrapnel. What up? Blue Eyed Scream. K-Shawl. Hi, Kirsten. And is that everybody? Am I missing somebody? I think that's about it. So anyway, thank you for being here. For those who show up every day or show up every day that you can. We've got 21 people in the chat, 10 likes. Fix that. Or add to that if you wish. I hope you do. Somnambule Nation, what's up? Oh, there. Did I miss you? I did. I'm sorry. Also, thank you to people who've been sharing the stream this morning already, including, let's see. Let's go to go here, notification. Oh, lots of them. Lots of notifications. I'll scroll back here. All right, let me scroll down. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, well, the replies to to my posting of the show, Green Badge Outdoors, posting a Samuel Adams quote: "Mankind are governed more by their feelings than by reason," and that's not a good thing. Anyway, I'll repost that. Is that a real quote? I don't even know. It could be. Also, thank you, Somnambule Nation, posting the show. Greatly appreciate that. As is Mrs. Wild Wolf. Also, thank you, reposting the show. And another let's go from JB. What is that going on there? Oh, it's a samurai movie. Okay, little emperor. It looks like an emperor or the head samurai in charge. The HSIC. Somebody might know what I'm referencing there. Also, Somnambulo Nation. Oh, we've got, is this thing fighting a slee stack? What is that? They're fighting a dinosaur. Oh, Gojira. I see your Gojira. And raise you an Ultraman. Let's go. Oh, there you go. Because the Godzilla I had in my gift. And the Daily Cutie Kitty. What up? Let's go. And Try Alexander with the Daily Woo. What's up? Selected Boys in the house too. Bright and early. Nice to have you here. Well, I'm just late. You're not early. I'm late. Thank you, Tyre, for the Daily Woo from Ric Flair. And there you go. That's me. All right. That's enough. All right. Moving on. Let's get into some stuff. Ultraman. Yeah, that was Ultraman. That was kind of cool. Okay. It is hump day. And for the first time, X has actually considered hump day a news item. I had to chuckle at this when I saw it. X users mark hump day with humor and motivation on October 22nd. And this is how, Grok does these generated news items. On October 22nd, users on the X platform celebrated Wednesday as Hump Day, the midpoint of the work week, through posts featuring greetings, Campbell emojis, witty innuendos, and motivational messages. And lots of cocks and vaginas, because I don't understand, and butts and buttholes and boobies and all that stuff. A lot of people like to show their bits on Hump Day for some reason. Anyway, this tradition, which originated in the 1950s American workspaces, promotes camaraderie and resilience against midweek fatigue, with viral content accumulating over 640 engagements. And the diverse points, ranging from spiritual gratitude to playful puns, illustrates X's function as a virtual hub for shared positivity and community. Fan-fucking-tastic. Anyway, so I'm not even going to scroll down Hump Day stuff today too far, because most of it's me. That's kind of weird. Like, a bunch of my old Hump Day posts are up here. But I did have one. Let's see. this one. This could be us, but you hate Halloween. Oh, nasty. Nasty. And then, okay. And also, by the way, now this one I was really afraid to scroll on. I'm not going to explain it, but it's also National Nut Day. Now, thankfully, everyone is talking about the correct type of nuts. And so there you go. People celebrating Nut Day. I guess it's National. No, that was yesterday. Let's see. Where is it? Today is National Nut Day. What are we going to do to celebrate? I can give you a couple ideas. Oh, yeah. No! I'm not going to do it. Anyway, so yeah, happy National Nut Day. Other holidays today include Good Girl Syndrome Awareness Day. Now, I don't know what the hell that is. Stand up to silent pressures on Good Girl Syndrome Awareness Day, where women reclaim their power, purpose, and true selves. Yeah, you might want to look that up. I just, Anyway, also National Make Dogs Day. I'm resisting making a joke. National Color Day. Style in a style with a rainbow of activity and crafts for the whole family. What? Maybe is that like something Crayola came up with? National Nut Day. We already did that. National Scar Appreciation Day. I got a couple cool scars. One more my hip. They put in a new hip. And I have one on my finger, like on my hand, because when I was a kid, I was stupid, like all kids are, and our neighborhood was pretty new, and there was a lot of construction, so we used to play in all the new construction houses, and I jumped off a roof and cut my hand on a piece of metal that was on the ground, which was stupid. And I still have the scar to this day to prove it that I did that stupidity. I also have a nice scar on my calf. I was doing another construction accident in my house when I was remodeling a basement. I got caught on a piece of glass and almost cut it down to my nasty. It was nasty. I don't even know if I still have pictures of that. Anyway, You don't need to know about my scars. National Lung Health Day. National Anna Day. If you're an Anna, well, get it, girl. International Stuttering Awareness Day. That was unnecessary. National Lauren Day. If your name's Lauren. Sukkot, which is it's a Jewish festival that's still going on. Hoshana Rabbah, I don't know what that means, but it's also, I believe, a Jewish holiday. And National Diego Day. If you know anyone named Diego, I do not. I don't know anyone named Diego. Okay, now there's today's an interesting piece of history. Now this is fascinating, and I in the topics today on X that I said here's what I'm going to be talking about today. I mentioned the name. Ronald McNair? Yes, Ronald McNair. Now, if you don't know who Ronald McNair is, I'm going to tell you right now. On this day in 1950, NASA astronaut Ronald McNair was born. He died during the launch of the Space Shuttle Challenger in 1986 at age 35. So that's who he is. In 1959, police were called to a segregated library when a black 9-year-old boy trying to check out books refused to leave after being told the library was not for black people. The boy, Ronald McNair, went on to become an astronaut. The library is also now named after him. They named the library after him, which is a cool story. Ronald McNair was 9 when the South Carolina librarian told him he could not check out books from a segregated library in 1959. Refusing to leave, the determined McNair sat on the counter while the librarian called the police, as well as McNair's mother. The police arrived, told the librarian to let the young boy have his books, and McNair walked out alongside his mother and brother. McNair went on to earn his PhD in physics at MIT and became one of the first African Americans selected as astronauts by NASA, alongside Gwynn S. Buford Jr. and Frederick Gregory. McNair's first space flight was the STS-41B mission aboard the Challenger shuttle. He successfully maneuvered the robotic arm, which allowed astronaut Bruce McCandless to perform the first spacewalk without being tethered to a spacecraft. On this day in 1986, the second space flight for McNair would be his last. He, along with 6 other NASA astronauts, were aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger when it exploded 73 seconds after takeoff in 1986. Everyone on board of the shuttle was killed. Today, the library in South Carolina, where McNair was refused books, is being named after the heroic boy determined to make a difference. So, very cool story that, the library is the library where he was not allowed to go check out books is now named after him. So I just that was like a feel good story I thought I'd tell you. All right, let's move on. Let's get into No Kings, the No Kings protests. Still talking about that. Kind of dwindling. It's funny. Somebody I was listening to the other day was like, I think it might have been Jimmy Dore who said this, and I thought this was a pretty good take. The No Kings protest wasn't really a protest. They weren't making any demands. The only demand that they were making at the No Kings protest was to oust, or in some cases, the duly elected president who won the presidency through the democratic process. They're always bitching about Trump's destroying democracy. He was elected democratically in our republic system, with both the electoral vote, which is the only one that counts, and the mythical popular vote. You won both. And so now you're saying no kings because you want to destroy democracy because he was duly elected. So anyway, so I thought that was an interesting point to make. So there's a couple things that I wanted to talk about. Oh, Johnny Hellcat's in the house. What up, Johnny Hellcat? The original, the first ever viewer of the Morning Night Live, dropping a tray in the tip jar also, which makes you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day, who says, so today is Nut Day. Is tomorrow Clarity Day? It very well possibly could be. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. Appreciate you sponsoring the show, and you're awesome and nice to have you back, sir. So, all right. There was two things I wanted to post. One, I wanted to show you this video because this is an interesting guy here. And it's also a case of do not judge a book by the cover. Okay. Do not judge the book by the cover.
Me that I really align now
hang
with
on.
the conservative view.
This is the guy talking about no kings. He's put this post on TikTok. I thought it's pretty interesting. So here we'll watch this thing. It's 4 minutes long, whatever. Anyway, you'll get the gist of it as you start hearing it. But don't judge a book by the cover.
A lot of people kept asking me if I went to the No Kings protest last weekend. And I just politely said, no, without elaborating. But here's what I really think about those rallies. The whole premise is backwards. Journalist and CNN contributor Batya Ungar Sargon said it best, and I'll play her clip in a minute. They're saying they're protesting kings, but they're the ones trying to overturn the will of the voters. Think about that.
Now, again, and not just kings, because, obviously in places where there are kings, they changed it to tyrants, claiming that Trump's a dictator, Trump's Hitler, Trump's this and that, whatever. And yet the dictator allowed the protests to go on.
It kept happening over and over. Security guard of our building, one neighbor, walking a dog. And I was just like, why would people want to go to that? The protesters call Trump authoritarian, but he's the one implementing the policies he was elected on. That's not tyranny.
Yep.
That's representative government. I get that you might not like what his agenda is, but it is literally what he ran on. And he won the popular vote. I think to try and remove that leader, that's the anti-democratic move.
Yeah.
And I just support the president. I'm not saying I'm anti-protest ever, but it was
it was a parade.
I didn't like the energy out there. So many people kept asking me, hey, did you go to the rally earlier? No. I realized that here in New York City, my opinion is unpopular. It was the cool thing to do here in my neighborhood, Chelsea.
That's the other thing. This thing was a big social event. You had all these millionaires, billionaires who sponsored it, getting people out to have a giant social event to make it, someone was comparing it to them attempting to do a color revolution, which is funny. But it was a big social event. And the idea that they were going to, like, what were they trying to accomplish? What demands were they making, actually? They weren't making any demands. They just came out to have a parade. And it was kind of weird.
But I guess I'm a dork. They've convinced themselves they're standing up to power, when in reality, they're trying to undo a democratic process they just don't like the outcome of.
Ding.
Even if he's not for every policy that I would be for domestically, he's for sure every policy that I'm for foreign policy-wise. And I just feel that he's making the world safer with what he's doing in the Middle East and domestically. I don't support mobs of left-wing
and Lord
people
Stanhope
trying to say that Western civilization is bad and that our way of life is bad. I think our way of life is good. It's always shocking to me that I really align now with the conservative viewpoint, but it's like, I do. The transition is complete. So when people ask me, why didn't you go? I just skip the debate, because how do you explain that demanding the removal of an elected leader isn't the defense of democracy? It's the opposite. I don't want to get into it with them. I just kept it to myself. So no, I didn't go, because protesting a president for keeping his promises isn't saving democracy. It's mocking it. But I also got to say...
Okay, I'm going to leave that there. This will be in the links, though. But yeah, I mean... No, this is not Jimmy Dore.
Thank you for being here.
This is...
Obviously,
whoops.
This video is
Here,
for you.
pause this. So I'll put a separate link to that if you want to watch the rest of it. He makes some other points, and also... wait, what did I just do there? Shit! That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. What he was talking about was Batya. We watched Batya's clip yesterday, the same clip he was talking about. Also, and this guy makes a really good point too, and I'll make a separate link to this one. About for all these people out there with the No Kings protest. He's got an idea what they should really have been protesting, and this is a good one. Hang on a second here. So here we go. There we go.
If you're not sure what to protest about next, fear no more, I got you covered. The next time your party leaders choose a presidential candidate behind closed doors without holding a fair primary, start a No Kings protest. The next time politicians try to force medical decisions on you, like take the jab or lose your job instead of giving you freedom of choice, start a No Kings protest.
Bang!
The next time they silence journalists or ban accounts all over social media or call dissent misinformation just to control the narrative, start a No Kings protest. The next time they send billions of taxpayer dollars overseas while Americans struggle to pay rent, groceries, and gas, start a No Kings protest.
Oh, hell yeah.
The next time unelected bureaucrats create laws through agencies instead of letting Congress vote, start a No Kings protest.
Damn right.
The next time they try to control speech by labeling your beliefs as hate just to shut you up, start a No Kings protest. The next time they pretend to care about democracy but silence their political opponents, you sure as hell better march your asses out on those streets and start a No Kings protest instead of always rolling over like a little bitch and doing as you're told.
Damn. Go off, King. Anyway, good morning, Bustello Maserati. That's a new name in the chat. How you doing? Welcome. I'm glad you're here. No Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. Okay. I'm one of those people who are like, I don't care who sings. I don't give a shit who sings at halftime of the Super Bowl. And, you know, if Bad Bunny comes out in drag, it'll just turn people off to, you know, all that bullshit, and then they'll have worse ratings next time or something. But I don't give a fuck. All right, let's move on. Some things related though to this. Now, Trump and some other people in elected officials want to go after the people who are funding these. I mean, it is kind of a color revolution tactic. It's what the CIA used to do, when they'd go and pay to get millions, find a way to get millions of people out protesting in the streets, and then they'd overthrow a government, right? Well, I know that Donald Trump is trying to, or at least the Justice Department, whatever, going after people who, foreign people who are trying to influence American politics. And Ted Cruz just introduced a bill. Here, let me pause this. You know, Ted Cruz, love him or hate him. He introduced a bill that would ban foreign billionaires like George Soros from secretly financing activist rallies, including the recent No Kings events, which I think he's some $3 million. He's proposed, or Soros donated to the group that ran that event, or, you know, promoted the event the most. Under the proposal, this type of funding would be treated as a RICO crime, allowing the DOJ to freeze their accounts immediately. It's time to stop Soros money from fueling chaos. Now, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but it's an interesting idea because, you know, they're talking about Russian influence, and Russians trying to sow discord, you know, among the electorate, try to sow division, right? But does that also mean that these billionaires from foreign countries, and he who shall not be named, are doing this to sow discord within the country? Maybe, right? So here's, I guess he was on Hannity. God, I wish it wouldn't have been on Hannity. But here's Ted Cruz.
No, look, I think you're right. I think he is scared for his political life. And the Democrats today are a party of radical interest groups. Now, I will say one of the most important things President Trump has done recently is he has pledged that he's going to go after Antifa. And what I've been urging is follow the money, cut off the money. Yep. And you look at this No Kings rally, and there's considerable evidence that George Soros and his network is behind funding these rallies, which may well be riots all across the country. And Soros is writing the check. And so I've introduced legislation called the Stop Funders Act that would add rioting to the list of predicate offenses for RICO. Why is that? Because it would let the Department of Justice use RICO, racketeering, to prosecute the money that is funding the anti-Semitic protests on campuses, the pro-open border protest in LA and other cities, and these No King protests, anyone that is supporting rioting and violence, it lets you go after the money. And I'll tell you, there are more than 200 left-wing groups behind these No Kings rallies this weekend.
Okay. There is a danger here. Okay. I can understand why you wouldn't want foreign influence because, they set the precedent. Oh, Russia trying to influence American politics, China trying to influence American politics, and that includes the Soroses, and there's there's a dude from Finland too that funds a lot of left-wing stuff here, right? Your danger in what he's saying here is you cannot stop Americans from funding or, contributing to protests. That's the danger. You do not want to do that. And Klaus Schwab too. I get the idea he's going for here. I just struggle with the fact that it can be used. Will it be able to be used against Americans funding their own protests? So we'll see what he says here.
They deliberately are blind to what each of the others are doing. That's part of how they avoid accountability. RICO is designed for precisely that sort of criminal enterprise. And so I believe the Senate, we ought to take up and vote on and pass our Stop Funders legislation. And I've urged both Pam Bondi at DOJ and Kash Patel at FBI, follow the money and prosecute those who are writing checks funding acts of violence, political violence or otherwise, across the country.
It sounds good. It doesn't sound good it sounds good in theory. I don't know how it would work in practice because, again, you can probably trace money to foreign entities, sowing discord in the U.S. But then you can do that with a lot of domestic funding of these things too. So anyway, it's an idea. It's an idea. All right. And that's why he's trending, I believe, right now. Also, though, he had a nice, I'll have to put this one in over here in the White House stuff. Hang on. He had a little snapback at Hillary Clinton. That's hilarious. And I will post this over here. And I'll bring it up when we get to that. There we go. All right. Let's see. Other things trending. I had Ted Cruz. We did that. What's this? Oh, a couple news items that I just wanted to highlight that I saw this morning. And this is, you think about these No Kings protests and all the, they're asking for the calls for violence from people within the crowd. Now, not the entire crowd calling for violence, although we saw examples of that yesterday. But you got to wonder if these type of events lead to something like this. Man arrested after driving his car into security gate outside the White House. According to authorities, a man was taken into custody late Tuesday after driving his car into a security barrier outside the White House. The U.S. Secret Service said the man crashed into the security gate at the White House entrance at 10:37 p.m. on Tuesday. The man was immediately arrested by officers from the Secret Service Uniform Division, the agency said. Investigators searched his car and deemed it to be safe, Secret Service officials said in a statement. Authorities did not immediately provide any additional information about the crash or the driver's identity or any potential motivation. But you gotta wonder, is he one going in to try to eliminate Hitler? Also, apparently, and speaking of violence and the violence that they're trying to encourage, some of the No Kings flyers threaten violent uprisings unless the Supreme Court and ICE are abolished. Now, wow, I thought the leftists liked the courts. What happened here? Flyers distributed during the No Kings protests in Ann Arbor, Michigan, called for escalating unrest if extreme demands to abolish the Supreme Court and U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, aka ICE, are not met. The document began with a threatening declaration. Everything comes to a head. We draw upon the terms we draw up the terms, we arrange the time and date. Your people and our people, we have demands in no uncertain terms. The following conditions must be met or hostilities will continue and they will escalate. It concluded with a stark warning that if demands are ignored, disorder will be without parallel in modern times. The flyer called on millions to, quote, rise up, block the streets, take over research centers, and raise the banner of free healthcare and medical autonomy for everyone on U.S. soil. You know, the problem, they can raise a banner all they want, but they got to find people who will do it. That's the one problem. They got to find people who do it for free. That's, anyway, presumably including illegal aliens. It also promoted resistance against federal law enforcement agencies, including ICE, Border Patrol, and Department of Homeland Security, and local police. Participants were urged to destroy their infrastructure, discredit their operations, and overwhelm their personnel. This is in the flyer. They're calling for some chaos here. Also targeting the nation's judiciary, the flyer demanded that angry mobs storm the Supreme Court, abolishing it outright. Wait a minute. Oh, aren't these the same people bitching about due process? By the way, today's coffee is brought to you by Papa Bear, Breckenridge, Colorado. Let's see. And advocating for the replacement of centralized government authority with hyper-local leadership by community elders, wayward youngsters, and those who earn trust in their communities continuously because of their care and humility, not appointed authority. So this sounds like they have a kind of a communist utopia in mind, where everyone is benevolent and eager to serve the needs of everybody else, and there are no lazy fucks who just take. In addition, the document also promoted a local organizing session, advertising a neighborhood anti-ICE training at the ICC Education Center in Ann Arbor. The center, operated by the Intercooperative Council, is described as a student-led nonprofit promoting safe spaces and inclusive communities. So, there's an example. And it looks like Andy has a picture of the flyer. That's fascinating. In other news regarding, hostilities, a U.S. Marshal and an illegal alien were both shot in Los Angeles. Fox News' Bill Meguin reported that someone shot a U.S. Marshal and an illegal alien during an immigration enforcement operation in Los Angeles. According to the Department of Homeland Security, an illegal alien who previously escaped from custody tried to evade another arrest. The illegal alien then used his car as a weapon, ramming it into the law enforcement trucks to escape. The officers fired defensive shots, and one hitting the illegal alien in the elbow. A ricochet bullet hit a U.S. Marshal in the hand. And this is, this is developing. Okay, it's a developing situation. Basically saying all the same things. So I'm not going to read that part. But per multiple ICE and DHS sources, U.S. Marshal and target alien were both shot. Okay, that's the same thing. Okay, so that's just three tellings of the same story in this article. That's not good. Probably had nothing to do with the protests, but certainly lives are in danger when people try to swarm these law enforcement actions, whatever. And then also, again, there's a big argument about who's more violent, the left or the right, and the left insists that because there's these studies that tell you that there's more right-wing related murders and stuff like that left-wing violence, they pretend that left-wing violence is not a thing. And yet there's constant pressure for leftists to do violent shit. And here's another example. Leftists overwhelm a small farm with death threats for hosting a conservative think tank. Oh no. Let's see. This chilling 2,500% spike in index internet content pairing Trump with fascist over the last 10 years, with the biggest surge happening since 2024. The spike is dangerous rhetoric, or the spike in dangerous rhetoric is evidence of a left-wing effort to dehumanize conservatives as existential as existential threats. And that's, boy, all throughout that, the No Kings was talking about who's fascist and this and that. So, let's see. So here's, okay, so a toxic playbook is now uploaded. Okay, so this toxic playbook is now played out in microcosm in Austin, Texas, where a Reddit mob's incendiary pressure campaign against a local farm not only forced an event cancellation for a conservative group, but allegedly escalated to death threats against the owners and their employees. It's a stark reminder words like fascist aren't just insults, they're weapons. The saga began on October 15th when a Reddit user in the Austin subreddit posted a thread titled, "Yikes, Boggy Creek Farms is hosting Texas Public Policy Foundation." The post lambasted the conservative think tank Texas Public Policy Foundation, which is this person's employer, as a fascist. In a fascist front for Christian nationalism. Christian nationalism is now the other scary thing they try to point at you. If someone's, they're linking that to being a white supremacist ideology. Anyway, so they said they lambasted the conservative think tank as a fascist front for Christian nationalism, Project 2025, and billionaire oil interest. Oh, all the boogeyman in one place, urging users to shame the farm into canceling the family-friendly event on regenerative agriculture and make America healthy again for the TPPF-affiliated Liberty Leadership Council, a 40 and under professional organization. So they're going to talk about regenerative agriculture, basically probably crop rotation, whatever, but it was a conservative group that did it. So they're dangerous. The event, which went on as scheduled at TPPF's offices, featured a Texas Republican State Representative Helen Kerwin, mother of U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Brooks Rollins, the author of a bill to keep PFAS, per and polyfluorochemicals, whatever that word is, out of sewage-based fertilizer, a cause that would presume to see support across the political spectrum. But commenters quickly piled on, calling for boycotts, supplier drops, and even fake RSVPs to sabotage the gathering. One user equated hosting the event to platforming the Klan or Nazis, framing the venue's desired neutrality as complicity with oppressors. All the Marxist language, it's amazing. The thread, which garnered hundreds of upvotes and comments, has since been deleted by the original poster, but its impact was immediate and devastating. The owners, under this online onslaught, Boggy Creek Farms, a small woman-owned urban farm oh my gosh, it's a woman-owned farm too! They're harassing women! What started as calls for accountability morphed into outright threats. In a follow-up Reddit thread called An Update from Boggy Creek Farm, users shared the farm's anguished update. They were closing until further notice due to hateful outlash and threats via emails, calls, and since deleted comments. These included explicit death threats against employees, family members, including children and an elderly woman, and threats to the property itself. So, you know how they love them some death threats, boy, I'll tell you. And, Austin is basically the microcosm San Francisco of Texas. And this kind of shit is normalized. And apparently it's just fine to threaten women if they happen to step out of line and host an event that someone's paid to use their facilities. So FTG to those motherfuckers. All right, moving on. I was going to talk about the New York stuff, Damme, Cuomo, and Sliwa. I'm going to skip it though. There's a lot of stuff going on talking about them. In New Hampshire, John Sununu is throwing his hat in the ring for U.S. Senate and basically statistically tied. So that's trending right now. And by the way, the government shutdown apparently is going to be prolonged. Apparently, the No Kings rallies have been pressuring moderate Democrats to prolong the shutdown, on top of exposing themselves as aging losers. Another benefit of the stupid No Kings weekend rallies might be that the government shutdown marches on. Moderate Democrats who want to reopen the government are afraid that if they vote to do just that, the extremists in their base and who now control the fate of the Democratic Party will end their political careers. Ha ha! Pussies. Hello, Midnight in Exile, and we're actually on Puerto Rico, by the way. Let's see. People are going to get hammered if they vote for the House passed bill to reopen the government and keep it funded through November 21st. One anonymous Democratic senator told The Hill. Democratic senators acknowledge a handful of their colleagues would love to end the tense standoff over federal funding, but they say that those members are worried about the liberal backlash that could end their political careers. Well, wait a minute. If they keep it shut and start pissing people off, they might get their careers. What do you call it? They might get their careers ended anyway. Wait. You're in Puerto Rico? No, I'm not in Puerto Rico. I said, good morning, Reaction Puerto Rico. Did you? Okay. That's the Reaction Puerto Rico's in the chat. Okay. So anyway, now another, by the way, and what's the date today? 22nd? Another byproduct of the shutdown is apparently SNAP and WIC benefits that are supposed to go out November 1st may not go out if the shutdown continues. Now, interesting. Here's Senator Ron Wyden, who says, SNAP and WIC funding run out in 9 days. Because they're talking about the building, the construction of the White House. SNAP and WIC funding run out in 9 days. Well, whose fault is that, Ron? It's the fucking Democratic senators. The Republicans will fund the government while you negotiate all this other stuff. But you guys are holding your breath, stomping your feet, saying, no, we're not going to end the filibuster on this continuing resolution. That just funds the government as it has so many times. You guys loved continuing resolutions. You hate government shutdowns until you do it. So anyway, the two things have nothing to do with each other. SNAP and WIC can be funded immediately if the Senate Democrats chose, but apparently they want people to suffer for their political game. The ballroom is not being paid by the taxpayers. It was funded by private donations. But why stop lying now? Why you always lying?
Why the fuck you lying?
Yeah, so fuck you, Ron Wyden and Senate Democrats. This is all on you, motherfuckers. It is. I don't care what your reason for doing it is. The continuing resolution funds the government as it is scheduled to be funded as it is now. No, the Republicans didn't make any changes to the budget that we're running right now. All he said is we'll fund the government at current levels exactly, not even with the new stuff, until the end of November while we negotiate the 12 appropriations bills. And you motherfuckers said, no, we want you to do this. We want to do this. We want to change this. We want to change that. We want to add all this other shit to the bill instead of just doing it the right way. So it's on you, Democrats. So lots of people talking about, oh my God, WIC and SNAP benefits are going to go down. Here the Senate Republicans say Republicans have voted repeatedly to fund our government, including military, air traffic controllers, the WIC program for poor mothers, and SNAP benefits for the hungry. Democrats can end the Schumer shutdown. All it takes is 5 Senate Democrats to reopen the government. I think, look, there's got to be more pressure on Senate Democrats than Republicans. The Republicans are voting to keep the government open. The Democrats want to add in proposals that have conditions rather than let the government run and then negotiate when the government's open. Representative Nicole Malakatakis, I said her name right, my God. Trump stepped in and saved the Women, Infant, and Children program during the shutdown, but SNAP will soon be depleted if Schumer and Senate Democrats don't stop the shenanigans. Oh, that's right. He's found a way to fund WIC through alternative means. Someone here, Mike Lawler, Chuck Schumer refused to do his job. The American people are suffering as a result. We are losing billions a day in GDP growth. Critical funding for services like SNAP and WIC are at risk, and this could stop today if Chuck tells this conference to open the government and pass a clean CR that's been sitting in the U.S. Senate for the last 3 weeks. So I won't play his clip there. But let's talk about the White House, because that's the big topic, apparently. People are freaking out over this White House renovation. And so I thought I'd pull up a few more just posts of people talking about it. We'll start with this one. Someone called Alex. So the pictures of the White House that I have in the thumbnail up here is the one that people are talking about the most, because they see this and all the liberals are like, Donald Trump is destroying the White House, yeah, you know, and which is funny because this is just part of the East Wing of the White House. This is not the original, the main building, which is built way back then after that was burned down or burned up whatever by France, and it's been renovated multiple times. By the way, we went through how many times it's been renovated in different ways, including a complete gutting of it by Harry Truman. This East Wing, by the way, that they're renovating was built in 1942. This was the addition of the East Wing that was built in 1902 that Franklin Delano Roosevelt destroyed and rebuilt completely. So it's only been there since 1942. It's not the main part of the White House. There's a giant hallway that goes from the White House to the East Wing, and then they have this East Wing. It used to be offices. Okay? Did you know the Oval Office, for example? That's not even original in the White House. That's not even in the White House. It's over around the other side. But anyway, I digress. This part that they're renovating, that they're saying, oh, you're tearing down the people's house, you're tearing down history. It was built in 1942. It's younger than my first house. I'm like, are you kidding me? So anyway, so if you look at this picture, this shows you what they're actually renovating right now. This is, here, you can see it better in this picture, in this view. This little yellow spot down the lower right hand of the picture, that's what has been taken off, this facade. It's not even the entire East Wing. It's just the facade that they're tearing down. And you can see back in this picture again, okay? It's kind of this, come on, click, there we go. It's the front part of this. They're not even tearing down the whole East Wing. So that's what people are bitching about, and they're going to build a ballroom, and people been putting up that stupid fake picture of the ballroom that was going to be built that like overshadows the White House. It's not what they're doing. But so just to be clear, in the past 48 hours of Democratic meltdowns, Donald Trump is destroying the White House. Have been over construction done on this tiny little area of the East Wing that they're going to expand that out and make it a ballroom. Now, some of the people bitching about it the loudest, Hillary Clinton, because see, I think the Washington Post put this picture here. And, you know, obviously this part of the East Wing, which is built in 1942, that's being renovated. The headline, White House begins demolishing East Wing facade to build Trump's ballroom. The president had claimed construction of the $250 million ballroom wouldn't interfere with the existing White House structure. Hey, dummies, it doesn't, because this is not the White House. This is the addition they built or rebuilt in 1942. So that's a stupid headline. That's probably Huffington Post. But Hillary Clinton Post, it's not his house. It's your house, and he's destroying it. No, he's not. No, he's not. Which to Ted Cruz replied. I said I had a Ted Cruz replies later. At least he didn't steal the silverware. Remember when the Clintons moved out? But by the way, speaking of reverence for the White House, your husband had some cigar incidents in the White House while you were there, and then you guys stole $28,000 worth of furniture and silverware that you had to return. You were gonna furnish your little house in Chappaqua with it, and you were forced to return it. Anyway, so the idea that anyone gives a shit what you have to say, Hillary. Somebody said, I hate to burst your bubble, but here's a list. Presidents have been renovating and expanding the White House for more than a century. In 1902, Teddy Roosevelt built the West Wing. In 1909, William Howard Taft added the first Oval Office. In 1933, FDR expanded again, adding a second floor, moving the Oval Office, completing the East Wing, and even building an indoor pool. In 1948, Harry Truman went big, gutting and rebuilding the entire interior of the White House from the ground up. In the 1970s, Richard Nixon turned the old pool into a press briefing room that we use today, adding a bowling alley. In 2009, Barack Obama swapped the tennis court for a basketball court. And now in 2025, President Donald Trump is breaking ground for a grand privately funded ballroom, carrying on the tradition of modernizing America's most iconic home. History didn't start yesterday. Every president leaves their mark, and Trump's is built to last. Thank you, Ms. Wildwolf. I don't have time to take. Well, I'll see if I have time. Thank you, dropping a deuce in the tip jar, saying, DM sent, please play on live takeover. Okay, we'll see. Give me a second. I'm gonna try to get through this. Is it short and sweet? I hope. By the way, thank you for the little artwork by Midnight. I saw that you're drawing. That would make a cool tattoo. Gotta detail up the butterfly, but that would make a really cool tattoo if I were into tattoos. Okay. So anyway, there's that. And then here, again, this is different times that the White House has been remodeled or whatever. But here's an interesting one. I don't know who needs to hear this, but the wing of the White House Trump is rebuilding as a ballroom was actually demolished under FDR. It was originally built in 1902, and most of what stands now dates from 1942. These halls, during a war he did that. Can you believe it? He had time to demolish the White House during the time of war. My God, what was FDR thinking and doing? He wasn't concentrating on his job. The halls being renovated are modern, not ones our founders ever used. True. Hello, Hoka Sports. What's up? And mischievous Moist Josh with the most unfortunate name on the internet. I'm just Moist. Come on now. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I did that to make fun of you. Well, me and your mom make fun of you. Anyway, so anyway, Hillary Clinton opening up her keyboard warriorness. FTG. And then also Gavin Newsom ripping apart the White House just like he's ripping apart the Constitution. Aw, so clever, Gavin. So clever. Honestly.
Your life makes me sad.
And that's because this Midas Touch account, again, the White House began demolishing portions of the East Wings of the White House to build Trump's $250 million ballroom, claiming it wouldn't interfere with the existing White House structure. Fuck off. Okay, and best, I haven't listened to this, but I have to play this clip. Apparently, Micah and Joe from Morning Joe, apparently we're tearing up about this. I am just dumbfounded that these people are so fucking stupid. Here it is.
But
yeah,
this
far different.
is
yeah,
painful. I mean, this is historic structure.
It's his
1942, Mika. This was built. This part of the White House was built in 1942. You dumbass.
Being torn to shreds, and again, is everybody
torn to shreds?
So if somebody wants to go into the White House, the next person wants to just knock down all the walls and turn it into a disco. Congress can't do anything. I mean.
Okay, first of all, Congress has nothing to do with the renovation of the White House. There's a complete and separate entity, independent entity that any changes to the White House go through and get approved. This ballroom concept, which is going to be very much matching what the aesthetic of the White House was approved by this commission. It's not like Donald Trump just said, you know what? I'm going to go bust out that wall and just put up a casino. Okay? It's not like that. Oh my God, these people are stupid.
Seriously. Yeah, you're destroying like one of the most historic structures on the planet.
Yeah.
Again, East Wing, 1942. God, These people are.
than the cost.
And are we saying that whoever we elect president has the right to destroy? Like what? What? Yeah, just tear things up?
They're
Like,
making
tear
so
it
much
to the
of
ground,
this.
turn it into something else? Kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's not your home that you purchased in Jersey.
No, it's not yours. You rent it from the American people for 4 years.
Let's get to our top story.
They're losing their fucking minds. Now, the one picture that's circulating around that that people keep posting. Let me see if I can find it. They keep posting this fake picture of what it's going to be, which is not the plan, by the way. Let's see if I can show you. There's the where the work's being done. They're just expanding this, just like they did on the other side. See this big thing over here in the north or the upper left-hand corner, or the west wing, where the offices are now. Now they're going to have a ballroom here that could hold more people. But a lot of people keep showing this fake picture of what it's going to be, and it's not. It's AI generated. I can't find it right now. But the White House Building Commission, whatever, there's a special task force commission, whatever, that approves these things, and it's going to match the White House, same color, same style, same everything. And so when it's done, it's not going to be some giant monstrosity that overshadows the White House. I wish I could find that picture, but I can't. So anyway, all right, guys, I'm out of time today. I would love to hang around more, but I got to do my thing. Let me check out what Ms. Wildwolf sent me here real quick though before I finish. If it's not too long, I will play it. Give me a moment. What do we got here? Oh, this is only a minute long. Unbelievable. Got an email from EBT telling me he has to work at least 20 hours a week. I've seen some of these clips. All right. And I've seen a lot of people talking about this. Mad because that if they want to keep their EBT, their food assistance, they have to work either 20 hours a week or volunteer for like 15 hours a week. And people are mad about it. They're like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. This one woman, apparently the maximum benefit you can get is $4,300 a month in food assistance. And apparently because she has several kids or whatever, this, fat white chick. And she's mad because she might have to volunteer 15 hours a week for the $4,300 a month she gets in benefits. Most people don't make $4,300 a month in this country. That's like, she's getting that in just food assistance. So here's the one that Ms. Wildwolf had. I'll put this up here real quick. This guy, not happy about his EBT benefits being cut. Here's what he had to say. I haven't seen this. I hope there's nothing that I have to beep or anything.
I got an email from EBT. I used to get $740 a month for my 2 kids. And we not getting EBT no more. They took the EBT. They saying I gotta work 20 hours a week. I'm not working for nobody. Get the fuck out of here. This is what Americans, taxpayer, work for us. They work for me. They gotta help me feed my fucking kids. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be quitters now. Y'all been helping us all this fucking time. Now y'all want to tap out. Get the fuck out of here. I want my EBT, yo. I want my EBT, and I'm not working for nobody. I'm a fucking boss. What the fuck I look like working when the government is here to help? Come on. Y'all sent all that money to Iraq, Ukraine. Y'all funding all these wars. But when it's time to help the Americans, y'all don't want to fucking help us? I need my fucking EBT, yo. I need my money, yo. I need my fucking EBT. Stop fucking playing with me, yo.
You got a phone and a TikTok to say that shit, too. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I kind of hope it's a parody. I've seen a lot of people though posting shit like this, and I go, really? You would not even willing to volunteer 15 hours a week? 15 hours a week. Hello, Cannibalistic Wizard. What's up? He's making me glow like Nagasaki. Yeah, I'm dumbfounded by that. I'm gonna leave that in the links today. All right, gang, that's it for today. I usually try to end on a happy note, but I just want to go. I want to go kick his ass. I'm sorry. That's terrible of me to say, I guess. But here come the links. Here come the links. Here come the links. Here come the links. Y'all really want it now. Here are today's links. Oops, linky. What's that? There we go. All right, that's it. Thank you for joining me today. There's the links for the show, including the articles I wrote and the aggregators, and there's a lot of good articles in there today. That's it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Tomorrow we'll be back for the official FTG Thursday and lots more for, and I'll try to be here on time, but just, I'm hindered by my job, and I've been not getting out of there very early lately. So, do my best though. Y'all have a good day. Gotta go. My name's Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.